Hey y'all, Ramdino here, coming at you again for another hike on the Appalachian Trail with, for right now, it's come along. We're gonna see if it stays that way or not. So we are, where are we at here? We are at the Hurricane Campground north of Damascus, and we're hiking Subo through Mount Rogers, through Grayson Highlands, all the way into Damascus. So it's 48 plus or minus miles. There, we had to do a reroute because the bridge is out on Combers Creek, and we got a shuttle from Lone Wolf. More about him later. More about what Ramdino has left this time. As usual, I leave something every time, and we did. But for right now, we're gonna get to hiking. So as usual, I'm gonna give Come Along a chance to speak. So let's see if he speaks this time. All right, Come Along. What do you got to say?
I'm ready. Let's go.
Man, a few words. This is number 6 for him. He is a glutton for punishment. Don't know what in the name of Ned he's doing hiking with Ramdino, but we're going to have some fun this time. Here they go. All right, we're about 20 minutes into the hike, and as always, I'm giving you my 20 minutes into the hike report. So far, we are hiking through the woods. That's about it. We'll be getting in the highlands eventually. Don't know if we'll get there today or not. We're gonna take a lunch break at Hurricane Shelter, and our target is Orchard, Old Orchard or New Orchard or just Orchard Shelter for the night. So that was about 10 miles in is what the shelter would be, and that's our goal. So our shuttle pilot picked us up. That would be Lone Wolf. Thank you. Be Lone Wolf, and more about Lone Wolf later. Great shuttle pilot, highly recommend him, but talk about him in a minute or later down the trail. But anyhow, we did escape from the library parking lot without being accosted by a townsperson, so that was a plus. If you saw my previous section hike, you'll know that didn't go so well when we first started, so this went a lot better. Anyhow, right now it's a woods hike, and we'll chat with you in a bit. We are Charlie Mike out. All right, so we made it to Hurricane Shelter. It feels like a hurricane here because the winds are blowing. Now we're back up in the trees and the woods, so it's not as bad, but I tell you, coming up out of that pool, and it's all uphill from down at Hurricane Campground on this bypass. But anyhow, coming up, you work up a sweat, and then you get in the wind and you realize how chilly it is. Hurricane's pretty nice shelter, I would say. It's got a privy. Wasn't any sign saying that the privy was closed, other than what's online, and I ain't online. So but in any case, really nice shelter. It's got a, heck, they even got a grill here. You can grill out if you wanted to. You don't see too many of those in the backcountry. It's got a bear box way down there that you put your stuff in. Nice shelter. Nice picnic table with big old boards on the bottom, big enough for make it a little comfy, and probably sleep about, I don't know, what do you reckon? Come along, 8, 10 in there.
At least 8.
Yeah, so anyhow, nice shelter. We're going to take us a break here and eat us some chow, and then we are continuing south. This is a hero of the trail for bringing me my tracking poles. And this is, what's this shelter? You don't remember because you're tired or because you wasn't paying attention or?
No, I didn't look. I don't pay attention to it.
All right, it's Old Orchard, so that way you can go home and tell everybody you made it to Old Orchard Shelter. So we made the Old Orchard Shelter. I don't know what type of mummy bag or bag come along's got over there, but the thing, it looks like it's made out of cinder blocks. It's 8 inches thick all the way across there. What is that? Is that for like the Alaska Outback?
Yeah, sure. Whatever works.
All right. So we made it here. Nice shelter, a little on the tiny side. They got a good new bench here, new picnic table. It's got broad seats on it too. So I guess they figured hikers were getting broader on the backside, so they need to put more than just one little old 2x6 board on there. So got a fireplace. Some idiots don't understand that aluminum don't burn. Not sure why people ain't figured that out yet. Springs down yonder. West, I'm sorry. Good spring, good flowing, 2 pipes in it, so that was a really good spring. Matter of fact, all the springs on the way up here, pretty much everything was flowing, so I could have got by, and matter of fact, I only brought 1.5 liters, so there won't be a problem with that. Privy's up yonder on the hill, so it's nice privy, handicap accessible. Once you get across all these rocks and roots and get up there, is all federal property is. We are in bear country. I know that because I've seen enough signs that say that. I do also know they prohibit hang gliding in this area, so that was the first time I've seen that in an area, was up here at Mount Rogers. So fortunately I didn't want to take the 100 pounds worth of hang glider up here, so we don't have that. They do have bear boxes, and there is plenty of tent sites here, albeit looks like there's a lot of rocks and roots, but you could probably find something in there. Plenty of hammock places. Looks like there's some more down the hill down there if you wanted for tenting. But anyhow, we got to go up there, if you can see it, heading up there tomorrow. And really good hike today. We did about 10 miles in here. So first day on the trail, glutes are wiped out, quads are wiped out, but it was all pretty much all uphill here, a couple downs. Our shuttle pilot was Lone Wolf. Let me tell you one thing about Lone Wolf. He is a trail angel and a shuttle pilot. He is awesome. So the continuing saga of what did Ramdino leave this time was that Ramdino left his freaking tracking poles back at the car in Damascus. It didn't discover that until we got to the trailhead. So my tent, and we're not going to be in shelters the whole time, we're going to be tenting. My tent is a Z-Pax duplex, and that does require tracking poles or sticks. I guess I could have foraged for sticks, but tracking poles are a whole lot easier. So without even hesitation, Lone Wolf said, I'll go back and get them. I'm not going to charge you. So Lone Wolf drove all the way back. Must have been 45 minutes there and 45 minutes back. Of course, I had to force him to take payment, and after shoving it in his hands, he did take it. Thank you very much, Lone Wolf. But what a guy, what a shuttle guy. Good conversation. So if you ever come to Damascus or in this area, not just Damascus, but in the area around Damascus, Mount Rogers, I'm not exactly sure what his area that he covers in, but I know he's a subscriber. So Lone Wolf, you leave a comment down there, appreciate everything you did for us today. Certainly got me out of a pinch, and let's hope that is the last thing that I have left at home or left somewhere this trip. All right, it's getting kind of chilly. We're going to get us a bite to eat, and then we are going to turn in. It's kind of windy. It's supposed to be windy the whole trip while we're up here. When I say windy, I mean gust up above 30. So a couple nights, that puts the wind chill in single digits. So hot almighty, I hope I brought enough clothes. We'll see. All right, we'll chat with y'all tomorrow. Well, I came across a place I wanted to share with y'all before I went to bed. Almost an idyllic little place up here. So you got this little bit of ground cover. Got a couple, I guess those are spruce trees like that right there. And there's also this little meadow here, perfect for camping or hammocking or whatever. But it's just a really, really neat spot that I got that big old rock outcropping over there you can hang it out on. But anyway, I just want to share that with you. This is probably better than the other meadow that's up there. And anyway, so if you come to this shelter, you got plenty of places to come and pitch a tent or hammock or what have you. All right, just thought you might like that. Once again, promise you this last time, going to bed. Out. All right, we're getting ready to haul out of here. Come along, he is feeding his face as usual and crawling blind. He's getting ready to roll, and Farmer's there. And so Farmer, of course, is a thru hiker, and we're getting ready to roll up cords and get on out of here. And Farmer, what's your goals for the day?
12 to 14 mile, I think.
Yeah, y'all good with that? Now that's gonna be at a campsite, right?
I think so.
Yeah, that's past a shelter, so that means we're gonna be out in the wind in the 20-degree temperatures tonight. No shelter. All right, I tell you what, you guys, I want to sleep between you guys, because y'all are bigger than me, okay?
Be about 5,000 foot elevation too, I think.
All right, we'll see y'all up there. Hi, we have come out into the highlands. I don't know if we're going to go back in the woods or not, but we just come out from that thicket in there, that spruce forest looks like, and we come through the gate here. So we are now, look across there. I think that's White Top across there. But boy, it looks like it's going to be a gorgeous day. The wind, they predicted the wind to be high winds today. So far we ain't had high winds. We did last night, and it was cold. It's cold this morning. Water's freezing in the bottle as fast as you get it in there. But I think it's warmed up a little bit. We still got a little bit of jack ice. Some people call it hoarfrost. My mama told me not to talk like that. Anyhow, we are continuing on. Today is going to be a gorgeous, gorgeous day. I can guarantee you that. Probably one of the best days on this trip just because of the views and the blue sky we got. So earlier in the week, they were calling for 30% chance of rain and some clouds. And I don't think that's going to happen if you look at that blue sky up there. So anyhow, we are southbound and down. All right, this is Scales. So it's about 3.5 from Orchard going Sobo. It has a privy here that is out of the wind, really nice, and the wind has kicked up. And there's a couple ponies up there on the hill. We're gonna run into a bunch more, I'm sure. A couple of them down here for whatever reason. But they use this area, they round up the ponies and they bring them up here. They give them shots and check them for health. Some they actually sell. That's why they call it the Scales. Well, let me back up. They call it the Scales because there's also longhorn cattle up here. And they realized that the time they drove the cattle down the mountain, they would lose weight. So it was better to weigh them up here than it was to drive them down the mountain. You got more for them. So that is the story of Scales. In any case, we are heading on into the highlands. Be a pretty day for views for sure. Probably be putting on something to knock this wind down. We'll see. All right, so this is Grayson Highlands, or no, Mount Rogers. So we ain't got to the Grayson Highlands yet. But this is a lot of what it looks like. A lot of balds. That over yonder, that green covered highest mountain, that's, I'm figuring that's Mount Rogers, and the one next to it, which is lower, is White Top. I guess they call it White Top because it looks white on top. But Mount Rogers, the highest peak in Virginia, we won't be going there because there is no view. When you get up to the top, there is, you're in the middle of a pine forest with a couple of big rocks there with a geodesic or whatever you call those survey markers that tell you the elevation. But I don't know how they use it as a survey marker because you can't see. Couldn't set nothing up there and look through the woods and see something else. See another marker somewhere on another hill. Anyhow, this is it. There'll be some prettier views here where it'll really open up. Maybe once we get over this peak here, we'll see. All right, so something you need to know, you can hear me over the water. There is plenty of water on this section. So you needn't carry a whole lot of water. I could probably get by on a liter, and I'm carrying enough for 1.5 liters, but I hadn't toted that much yet. Nice swimming hole down there. Somebody want to go swimming, I don't. Since it's still, water's still freezing in my bottle on the outside, but anyway, you needn't worry about carrying water on this trip. All right, I'm hoping this works. I got my glove over. It's really windy. I don't know, about 10, 15, gust 20, something like that. But anyway, this is our view right before we get to Massey Gap. This goes on for days. This is absolutely gorgeous. A lot of balls in the area. That's probably a Christmas tree farm over there. And this is Massey Gap, and reminds me of the tablelands right here.
Ski slope is that?
Oh yeah, that is ski slope. I don't have a clue. Maybe, you reckon you can see the beach from here?
I was just trying to think. That looks like beach road.
Yeah.
The way it's shaped.
I don't know. Anyhow, thought y'all might like this view up here. All right, we're gonna go on down to, I think we don't get to Massey Gap, we skirt it. Probably somewhere right over in there is where we'll come around, and then we'll go on up that way. Okie dokie. All right, we're in Mount Rogers area. We are coming through what is, I think, called Fat Man Squeeze. We're gonna see if this fat man can get through there. Look at him go! Look at him go! Run! 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 All right, I'm going. He may get stuck and have to come out. We might be in trouble. Lord of mercy, it is a solid sheet of ice there. I'm gonna have to put this camera up so I can hang on to something. Ugh. See, if I was as good as Quicksand would have set the camera down and took a picture of him coming through. I ain't as good as Quicksand, huh?
There's a reroute around here.
There's a reroute if you're too fat to get through here. I'm stuck. I'm stuck. I'm stuck. Come get me. What'd you do? Turn sideways?
Yeah, turn sideways.
Oh. Yeah, well, I'm gonna have to squat down. Keep from. Lord.
And I'd come this side of that tree.
The side where there ain't any ice.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, Muslim. Dang.
Man, I miss that blaze, wouldn't he?
There it is. Fat Man Squeeze. Both of these fat men made it through there. All right, we're gonna keep going. I don't know if you can hear me or not. Wind's blowing so bad, but walking through what looks like an old orchard. I'm not sure what gap we just came through. We're past White Top, pretty certain, and we're about 2 miles from Elk Garden Gap, I believe that's what it was, where we spent the night. So here's the deal. I have never been colder and not have a place to get out of the cold in my life. I have skied in 0 degrees, but I had a ski lodge to get into. One time we were skiing in Snowshoe, West Virginia, and all the cars froze up and we had to spend an extra night, and it was -20 was the wind chill. You don't stay out in that for long. We had a friend of mine, John Barker, and it was actually his sister, Lee Barker's. She had a Maxima. It would talk to you. And I went out there to get this is back in the days of cassette tapes. I'm dating myself. Any of you youngins out here, you'll need to Google what cassette tape is. Anyhow, went out there to the car and opened the car door, and it went, "The left door is open. The left door is open." It was so cold, I shut the door and then couldn't figure out how to get out, and had to reason how to open the door to get out. Anyhow, I've been in cold weather. Last night was the coldest I've ever been in weather. Now, once I got hunkered down in my bag, I'm good to go. But you can't cook in the bag very easily. I didn't. You got to come out dressed, go do your nightly voiding of water that your system didn't sweat out all day, and you got to put your food bag up somewhere. So it was cold. I'm a fair weather hiker, and now I've determined I'm a warm weather hiker. I don't know if I'm gonna come along out in this again or not. He may not appreciate it, but so that's why I don't have a lot of video from this trip. What's that?
I'm game for anything. I'll do most anything you want.
Most? Where do you draw the line?
Well, I haven't found any.
Oh, he ain't found the line yet. All right. Anyhow, so that was last night. Night before last, didn't seem as cold. Now I got up this morning. There was a thermometer over there on the sign that told you where you was at, and it said it was between 19 and 20. Of course, the wind's blowing. That's what's getting us the most, is the wind. I think the wind was projected to be wind chill like 7. It sure felt like it. Anyhow, y'all ain't seen much of the trail this trip, so we got back in this cover. Thought I'd show it to you, chat with you just a hair. Hadn't been able to do that because one reason this trail that we've been on through Grayson Highlands and Mount Rogers area is just ain't nothing but rocks and roots. And you gotta pick your path, pick your rocks. Some of them are not stable. And I actually took an endo, face planted. It was late in the day. That's my story. I was tired. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it.
I gave him a 10.
I got a John. Come along says I got a 10 out of it. Felt like an 11, but I'll take a 10. All right, we're going to Charlie Mike. We're heading to Saunders Shelter. We're supposed to be yesterday we did a 16-mile day. Today should be a 14, mostly downhill, and we got then a 10-mile from Saunders into Damascus. So that'll conclude the trip. So we'll be chatting with you later. Well, I thought this was pretty, coming through some rock scrambles and this river coming down through here. I don't know off the top of my head what river it is, but I figured out and put it up here. But pretty little spot. There's tons and tons of water sources on this section. So there's no need for you to carry more than a liter of water. You're carrying weights you don't need, because there's just, now we've had a lot of rain up here, I'll grant you that. We just got done with some snow melt, but there's been a ton of water sources up here. Anyhow, pretty little walk down here right along the river. All right, we're gonna keep on going. We stopped at shelter back there. We're supposed to have 6.7 to Saunders shelter, so not sure about that. Sounds about right. We'll see. That'll be it for the night. Then we'll be finishing out tomorrow with 10 days to Damascus. All right, 10 days, 10 miles. I think that's the Creeper Trail. It's an old railroad trestle. I'm pretty sure we're getting ready to either cross it or get on it. I don't know, but anyway, that's the Creeper. I think at some point we do wind up hiking on part of it. All right, this is our last day. We're about an hour and 15 minutes out of, is that right? Yeah, hour and 15 minutes out of camp. We're on this last pull. It's about 900 plus or minus feet. And that'll be the last up. So I got about 8/10 before I get to the top. We had considered last night coming on in all the way to town, but ain't no way I'd have made this, and then we'd have been stuck on no place to camp. So made the right call last night. We were war slam out after, it was like an 18 mile day, yeah. After leaving Elk Garden, got down to the campsite down there around the river, around the Creeper. But anyway, so pretty much what the trail looks like this morning. You can see it with the sun, but in any case, come along, he is out of here. I figured out why. Now, don't take this the wrong way, but I saw him with his pants off. we were shedding layers, and he was taking off his bottom thermals. And I figured out why he's got such better climbing gear than me, because he's got his thighs and his calves are twice my size. So I guess he's worked harder his life than I have in mine. I don't know. But in any case, I don't feel so bad now. Don't take that the wrong way. Come along. All right. Let me move on out here and make this last 8/10 of a mile. All right, so I am over the hump. Didn't take a picture of the view because the sun would have washed it out, and we've got a lot better views on this trip anyway. I mean, that's gorgeous and all, but anyhow, so we are heading down now in Damascus. I think I got about 2.5 to Damascus proper, so it's gonna have to start going downhill quick. I'm sure it will, but before it started doing that and getting dangerous, I thought I'd bring you this video. Of course, you've seen this a million times, I'm sure, just walking in the woods through the Green Tunnel, but wow, it just is amazing to me to have the opportunity to get out here and do this. I wish everybody did. Anyhow, this is Definitely my happy place. Now last night I was freezing my butt off. So getting up in the morning, day before yesterday, oh my gosh, it was 20 degrees, verified with a thermometer on a marquee. Oh, looks like there's Damascus. Verified with 20 degrees with a thermometer that was tacked up to a marquee at Elk Garden Gap. And okay, here's something I want to tell you. So some of these bear boxes at the shelters have had combination locks on them. So there's no signage at the privies or anything saying nothing's closed. So I guess that's the ATC's way of closing stuff, is locking your bear boxes. So by all means, let's do that so people will not store their food properly and will attract bears to the area. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. I mean, gee whiz, that's probably one of the more stupider things they could do. I mean, I can see putting a padlock on the privies. Of course, that just leaves the people pooping in the woods everywhere, and probably right around the shelter. It's really not feasible to plywood the shelters, but I mean, wow. Let's lock the bear boxes, guys. I'm sure the local club did that at the behest of the ATC. I'd like to make a call and find out. But did get to Elk Garden Gap. The trash cans, which are bear proof, are still there. So here's a pro tip, not a pro, that the trash cans, check the back of them. I mean, nobody wants to put their bear bag down a bunch of trash. But see if you can get in the back of it. Back of it had just a regular handle on it. Wasn't locked, no lock. So you can stick your bear bag in there underneath the trash bag that's there and or beside it, and voila, you are stored your food in a bear proof container. Take that, ATC. Defeated. Anyway, so that don't make sense to me. All right, I'm getting ready to do a little bit of an up here, so I'm gonna let you go. Why don't you look at this? You can see the trails for the leaves. Looks like nobody's been through here. All right, we made it to Damascus. We got about half a mile to the truck, and we'll be calling this one complete. So that gets me from Springer to Hurricane Campground north of Mount Rogers. All right, we made it. What was that? About 48 miles plus that little bit right there. Call it 50?
50. Yeah. My feet say 50.
All right, that is it, folks. We made it. So now I'm all the way from Springer to up there at, what was that, Hurricane Campground? Where'd you get on the trail with me?
I don't know.
Don't know, don't care.
Yeah.
That was not, what was that, number 7 or that was number 6? So that's lucky number 7. Maybe he'll figure out where he started before we start that. But anyway, that's it, folks. As always, appreciate you, and we'll see you out here.